Welcome back. In any good cinematic universe, it's always an amazing moment when a character from one series makes a cameo appearance in another. And this creates a palpable excitement in the theater where you feel that two stories that you knew and you loved are suddenly linked up. In the recent movie Shazam, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman showed up for like 2 minutes at the end, and the sense that two narratives you didn't think were necessarily connected suddenly become interwoven and enhance and elevate the other. In some ways, perhaps surprising, our rabbis experience the Tanakh, the Bible, not unlike these cinematic universes that have been taking over our screens in the last few decades. The Tanakh was their world. It was what occupied their time. And it was the narrative lens through which they understood events in their own life. They lived within and created within that world of the Bible, and they understood events in their own world as playing a part in that great drama. And our rabbis, as we'll see in this session, also enjoyed a good cameo. And in this session, we'll explore a surprising one. The biblical character Job, or Iyov, has his own 42-chapter book, but very little is known about the actual character. We're not even sure, was he Jewish or not? When did he live in the biblical history? Where is he on the biblical timeline? Iyov is very important in his own book, but doesn't appear anywhere else, and there's no cross-reference or anchor that we can use to fill out his picture. In fact, because of this paucity of detail, some of our rabbis were even of the opinion that the entire book was simply a literary creation. The character never existed on a historical level, was merely a figment created in order to teach us important lessons about evil in the world. But there's also a surprising midrashic trend that locates Iyov in one of our core narratives, the Exodus from Egypt. In this view, Iyov is placed as one of Pharaoh's courtiers and advisors as the Egyptian regime descends into depravity, enslaving the Israelites who were once Egypt's friends. Iyov's reaction to these events in the Midrashim and his role in the story not only help provide a compelling reading for Iyov's own book and story elsewhere in the Bible, but they also transform and enrich our understanding of the Exodus narrative itself. In this way, this midrashic tradition uses Iyov to unlock new meanings in the faraway book of Shmot, and the Exodus story to unlock new meanings in the story of Job. There's a sense in this aspect of a crossover character in Midrash that we are thinking about the different parts of the Tanakh as having locks and keys that fit with one another and open up new possibilities of understanding. Sometimes we can only understand one part of the Tanakh by going to a different part of the Tanakh. The darshan's role, the creative work of the Midrash, are to find the keys in books like Job to unlock meaning in the book of Shmot, and to find the key in the story and themes of the Exodus that can make sense and deeper meaning out of Job's trials and tribulations. In this specific case, we will learn, among other things, that redemption is not simple, and there is always collateral damage to one people's struggle for freedom. The redemption that is the focus of the book of Exodus must be read against the struggle and suffering that Job has to endure. Reading those narratives together doesn't cheapen or denigrate the struggle for redemption, but it does force us to confront that redemption always comes with consequences for others, and we can't pretend that that is not the case. Iyov opens up the Exodus and its analogs in the modern world to new and more complex understandings. In this session, as in all the ones we've done together, you'll see how this is a profound synthesis of close and careful reading of a text alongside a passionate and even troubled exploration of deep theological and sociological questions. As you near the end of this arc of our learning, I hope you've enjoyed this foray into the Midrashic workshop to get a close-up view of the Darshan's craft. I hope you can leave this course with a new appreciation of what Midrash is and is not trying to do, and how it interacts with all sorts of complex forces from the text itself and the world around the interpreter. I hope it will encourage you to imagine the Torah as a love letter written to you. When you experience the anomalies, the curiosities, the gaps and questions in the text, to experience them actually as aspects of divine love that can be engaged with, learned, and drawn into your own life. Thank you so much for learning with me, and I hope that these Midrashim and many others will be something you'll enjoy for many years to come.